Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Clearly, if you're watching this right now, that means you did not get raptured. So you stuck down here with the rest of us heathens. Now, you know what's so funny? I think for a lot of us millennials, especially those that were raised by boomers, a lot of us have been through this whole like rapture, God's coming back, hysteria that we see throughout society. And I mean, listen, this TikTok rapture is no different. First of all, I don't even mean to be rude when I say this, but since when did Western nations believe anything an African pastor had to say? I'm not even trying to be that guy, but I'm just saying, like, if we really think about this, like, who genuinely believed this? And we know who believed this, obviously. There are tons of people who genuinely believe this. But I think that's what's so sad about it. Like, what I've realized with a lot of these things, especially when we talk about either God coming back or World War III or Civil War, a lot of us, and I said this before in the last video, a lot of us are just truthfully living lives of quiet desperation, right? Like, we all know what's kicking our ass out here. Bills, the economy. For some of us that are single, the dating and relationship scene is absolutely horrendous, which is also an issue from the economy, right? Like, all these things work together. But subconsciously, we all want some sort of relief. We all want some sort of savior, right? I want to use this moment as a moment to motivate and also probably laugh at some of you who genuinely believe that God is coming back. Newsflash, buddy. God is not coming back. God is not coming back to this earth. And if anything, if he was going to come back, he probably looked down upon us, seen everything that we were doing, and probably decided that we probably all need to be washed away to begin with. That's the honest truth. But no, seriously, I think the most motivating part, maybe not motivating, I don't know, maybe you might consider this to be like, I don't know, sad or something, but with no one coming to help you or no one coming to save you, I think that puts you in a prime position to actually be the person to save yourself, right? Like, become the hero of your own story. And I think that's what we all need to be in some capacity. Now, this isn't my normal content. I don't normally talk about stuff like this, right? So this is like a one-off. So if you're new here, I don't talk about this stuff on the regular. But I want to use this moment as an opportunity to talk to my audience, right? And not necessarily motivate you guys, but if you are on the side of those thinking that, God was going to come help you because, maybe you're up to your eyeballs in debt, whatever the case may be, listen, no one's coming to save you. So you better get your money up. And this is something I tell myself too, like, listen, at the end of the day, no one's coming to save me. No one's coming to save me. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save any of us, right? If there's going to be anything or any conglomerate that comes to help you, it's going to be yourself first and foremost, and it's also going to be your community, right? I think this is the perfect opportunity to talk about wanting to foster the kind of environment or just the kind of community of people around you that not only help support you, but you also help support them, right? Like, I think this is all part of a larger discussion here. At least I think. You let me know what you think in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. No, but all in all, I think this has been an eye-opening moment for a lot of people. I think for someone like myself who was raised in the church, I know what it's like to be around people that, preach this kind of gospel of, oh, God's coming back, make sure you're right with God. My question to y'all that are heavily steeped into religion, my question is, at what point do you wake up? And I mean that. I don't say that to try and insult anyone. At the end of the day, if your religion or if you look to religion as something that helps you and helps guide you, then by all means, have at it, right? But for those that like try to oppress people and, shove their ideologies down other people's throat, how's that working for you? I mean, for real, like, for those that constantly tell people to get right with God or like, God's coming, you never know when he's going to show up. Which, as a side note, it says that in the Bible. So again, I ask why people believed him to begin with. That's another question for another day, I think. Not here nor there. But yeah, like, I think at the end of the day, like, for some people, you got to come to realize, like, religion, and again, this is just my take, right? But religion is not, first of all, religion cannot act as moral police. That's first and foremost. Just my personal opinion. Secondly, the idea that you were putting all your eggs, your proverbial eggs, into this one basket of God coming back, or just in general, like, you don't have to try to do anything in life because so long as your soul is right with God, you're gonna, get to the heavens. When will you realize that that has been a lie? When do you realize that? When do you realize that the wool has been pulled over your eyes? Anyone telling you that your riches is in the sky is lying to you, because they go home in a very nice house surrounded by probably a beautiful family. You might have a beautiful family too. And I'm not saying that material things is important, because I know that can get misconstrued. But all I'm saying is, if your quality of life, or the betterment of your quality of life, depends on reaching heaven, then I have to ask, like, how strong is that ideology? Like, what is the ultimate purpose of it if it's meant to just keep you docile? That's just my perspective. I think religion does more harm than good. And I think for a lot of people, they use religion as a crutch. And they use it as a crutch for a myriad of reasons: to pass judgment onto people, to skirt responsibility, to avoid accountability, and ultimately to feel like they're better than other people simply because they believe in a sky daddy that no one has ever seen. I mean, that doesn't necessarily make sense to me, but for some people out there, it makes sense to them. And it makes so much sense to them that they've made it their entire personality. I mean, we see this in our current political administration to begin with. But moreover, I think the foolishness that some would believe that some guy just in front of a mic would go ahead and tell you, like God would tell him to tell you, that the world is going to end between the 23rd and the 24th, depending on your time zone, and you believed it, not only believed it, but you gave your stuff away, that's foolish. That's so fucking stupid. I don't know. Like, what else can one really say for something like that? Like, the idea that you genuinely thought that the clouds were going to open up, God was going to come down and then scoop y'all up and take you to heaven. Yo, I can't believe y'all believe that shit. That's actually fucking crazy. And I get it. I mean, I know for a lot of people, they were born into that, right? Like, for a lot of people, you kind of have no choice but to believe it, because you've been raised with that ideology, like, hand in hand, right? So you have no choice but to believe it. But I challenge you, please, use this as an example. I'm not saying that the Bible is useless. The Bible has plenty of stories that are parabolic in nature, right? Which tell you the moral of a story, right? Like, it's not factual. It's not actual history. I want to emphasize that one more time, that the Bible is not actual history. It's not. Sorry, you can argue with me on this all you want. Personally, I don't care. Let me know your grievances in the bottom below, but it's not actual history. So I think to live so attached to this word doesn't really make sense. And then if you're that kind of person, not when, but if you're that kind of person who falls for, these allegories and stories as true gospel, no pun intended, then you find yourself in these positions as to where, more than likely, what you're doing is just a fool's errand, right? Like, you're chasing geese. I think that's how the saying goes. Regardless, the point of what I'm trying to say is, there's only so much of something that you can take as legitimate, right? And I think for those who take the Bible and misconstrue it in such a way that, they're going for viral clips, they're going for more money, they're going for fame, or, they're even contorting the Bible for prosperity. Those are the people that obviously you should not be listening to. But unfortunately, a majority of Christian pastors or leaders, or whoever you want to call it, someone with a voice, right? They take this Bible and they corrupt it. I'm not saying the Bible is wrong. There's tons of stories in the Bible that are great, that are good, that show you how to be a decent human being. I'd argue that you don't need a Bible to show you not to be a piece of shit, but again, another conversation for another day. All in all, because I'm going to get back to playing my guitar. I know y'all see this sexy ass guitar here, but all in all, here's what I want to say. The motivating point is this. You can imagine there's going to be a God out there. You can assume a God is going to come save you all you want. But the longer you reside in that thought and you do nothing with your life, like you're inactive, you're not trying to grow as a person, you're not trying to grow financially, not trying to grow emotionally, you're outsourcing all of these things in the hope of an invisible sky daddy to come in and implant these characteristics, these traits, and ultimately a better life for you. You're going to be spending more time wishing it happens than living the thing that would get you there, right? Like putting in the work, walking along that journey, testing yourself, growing, learning, etc., etc. Stop putting all your hopes in something that's fucking invisible, please. And more so than that, stop trying to make other people who don't believe in your bullshit, stop trying to make them out to be like evil or make them seem as though they're ignorant, because as much as you like to argue for your truth, other people are going to argue for their truth. We unfortunately live in a post-truth society, so it don't fucking matter. I mean, like, it matters, but it doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm talking my head off. I'm gonna go back to playing my guitar. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Again, this isn't my normal content, but I figured, you know, I might as well talk about it because, to be quite honest, everyone else is. And as someone who grew up in a religious household, I kind of wanted to share my 2 cents in it. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't get raptured this weekend, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.